Welcome to our Christmas reflection. Over the next few moments in words and music, we hope to share something of the Christmas message with you. And we hope that this will be a meaningful time of reflection for you, whether you're watching on Christmas morning or sometime during the holiday week. Right now, let's quiet our hearts and listen to some music. There are two readings I'd like to share with you today. The first one is from the prophet Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 9, verses 2, 4, and 6. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who lived in a land of deep darkness, on them light has shined. For the yoke of their burden and the bar across their shoulders, the rod of their oppressor, you have broken, as on the day of Midian. For a child has been born for us, a son given to us. Authority rests upon his shoulders, and he is named Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Our second reading is from the Gospel according to Luke, chapter 2, verses 1 to 15. In those days, a decree went out from Emperor Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration and was taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria. All went to their own towns to be registered. Joseph also went from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to the city of David called Bethlehem, because he was descended from the house and family of Bethlehem. He went to be registered with Mary, to whom he was engaged and who was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for her to deliver her child. And she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in bands of cloth, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the inn. In that region, there were shepherds living in the fields, keeping watch over their flock by night. Then the angel of the Lord stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all of the people. To you is born this day in the city of David a Savior who is the Messiah, the Lord. And this will be a sign for you. You will find a child wrapped in bands of cloth and lying in a manger." And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace." When the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go now to Bethlehem and see this thing that has taken place, which the Lord has made known to us." You know, when I think back to Christmas, I think about Christmas Eve at my grandmother's house. My grandmother's house was a gathering place for my family on Christmas Eve. And when that time of year rolled around, we would look forward to it. On the 24th of December, we might go to church or we might not, but we would always go to my grandmother's house. And at my grandmother's house would be my uncles and aunts and cousins and extended family. We would have distant relatives that we only saw once a year. We would see friends and family from the country that would come in, as well as neighbors. People that you would see once a year at my grandma's house on Christmas Eve. And it was a little house, and it was full of people, and there were all kinds of Christmas goodies and loud conversation, and it would go on sometimes until 11 o'clock or midnight. And that was part of my Christmas when I was a kid. It was part of the excitement and the anticipation that I felt. It was a part of what Christmas was for me, I guess. Quite a few years ago now, my grandmother died. And she died in early December, just a few weeks before Christmas. And Christmas that year was strange. And after that, you know, it never really seemed the same. Of course, my grandmother wasn't there, and we didn't gather at her house on Christmas Eve, but in some ways, she had been kind of the glue that held all of those people together. And after she died, well, the family started to drift a little bit. People got on with their own families and their own lives. And Christmas never really did seem quite the same. You know, some people don't have memories of excitement or magic associated with Christmas. Sometimes their Christmases were difficult, and they need to make their own memories of Christmas as adults. But whatever our experience of Christmas, whatever our memories from our childhood, I think our ideas about Christmas and our experience of Christmas changes as we get older. Kids grow up, families change, partners and relationships sometimes end. Sometimes we change too. And Christmas becomes something different for us. It's not the same as it was. Some of you watching today may be finding yourselves thinking back to Christmas the way it was or the way you remember and realizing that it's not the same as it was perhaps when you were younger or when you were a kid. It might not even be the same as it was a few years ago. Some of you may be watching today and experiencing Christmas for the first time alone, without a partner with whom you spent a good part of your life. Maybe some of you are watching and your kids are grown up and that makes Christmas kind of different. Or maybe you never had kids and that makes Christmas different again. Or maybe you just find that your family has changed and Christmas or your experience of Christmas isn't what it was. We can sometimes remember what Christmas was to us, but as we go through life, we find it changes. And maybe the ideas and the feelings that we have about Christmas, these ideas that we hear about, joy and love and hope and peace, maybe we find that our experience of those change too. When we look at our world sometimes, as adults, we have to admit that so often we find it hard to see joy and love and hope and peace. And sometimes we might think that Christmas will never be the same, that it never will be what it was or what it is supposed to be. Somehow we might find ourselves thinking that Christmas is always something less than what we would want it to be. Our ideas and our experience of Christmas often changes. They don't stay the same, those ideas and those experiences that we recall. And mixed in there are idealizations about this time of year. And it's a strange mix, a mix of commercialism and sentiment, of marketing and memory, of longing, and sometimes loss. Our ideas about Christmas change. But there is a deeper truth and meaning to Christmas that doesn't change. In so many ways, we turn Christmas into something that it isn't. We don't even know if December 25th really is the day that marks the birth of Christ. There's so much that's been built up around this holy day. But there is a truth which is reflected in the simple and familiar story of that first Christmas. And it's the truth that God surprises the world by showing up in a way which is almost unnoticeable, in a child in a trough used to feed the animals, somewhere in a cave in an unimportant part of the world. God surprises us by showing up almost unnoticeably. There is a deeper meaning and a deeper truth to these stories. And it is the truth that God is with us. Emmanuel, God with us, surprising us and showing up in our lives and in the world in the most remarkable and sometimes obscure ways. A child in a feeding trough, born in poverty, far from home, in a cave in the middle of the night. But this child points to hope and peace and joy that is truer and more real than any idealized sentiment. This child points to a God whose love is deeper and wider than we can imagine, a God who loves and accepts us unconditionally, just as we are. This child points to a God who surprises us with hope and peace and joy and love, which is real and which doesn't change. Our experience of Christmas becomes something different as we go through life, but there is a deeper truth and meaning to the event that we celebrate at this time of year. And that is a constant, not just for our lives, but for all of eternity. You know, there are so many folks here at VAPC who help in the work and ministry of our community. Some of them would like to bring you their Christmas greetings. So let's look at those now.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
We
are part of the FFG, or the Faith Formation Group here at VAPC, and we organize and facilitate the programming for children and youth.
We work really hard to be inclusive and to have a welcoming environment and a learning environment for the kids with our wonderful families that come, and we have some great volunteers that help us. Always looking for some more.
Why do we do what we do? We do it for the kids. So on behalf of everybody, we wish you a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Well, Steve Colgan here. I'm down in the basement. I'm looking for the property committee because they're always somewhere doing something. And so I'm down here in the furnace room. So let's go take a look. Let's go see if we can figure out what's going on. Sounds like there's some noise down here. Oh, I found one of them.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, Jim. How's it going? What are you up to?
Oh, just fixing some pipes here on the furnace.
Fixing some
All
pipes
done.
again, eh? Oh, there's some other people back here in the background. Oh, hey, Ralph. What are you up to?
Oh, I'm just finished replacing yet another light bulb. We keep the whole basement full of these things. As someone said, let there be light.
Hey, John. How's the supervision going back there?
Oh, great. Ralph's doing a great job, as he always does.
Well, folks, as you can see, your property committee's here hard at work. Usually we have Hugh Brown as well with us. One of the big jobs this year is we did our whole new cold air intake down here in the furnace room. But we just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas from your property committee. Here with Jim, Ralph, John, Steve, and imaginary Hugh. So have a Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
A Christmas greeting from your VAPC session. It has been almost 3 years that we have been meeting in these nice little boxes with 9 faces plus 1 for the moderator. So we thought we would invite you into our space to give you our Christmas greetings. We know that Christmas is an emotional time of year for many people, and each has unique feelings at this time of year. We know that our family will cover the range of emotions. And so our sincere wish for you this season is that you may, in your quiet times of reflection, find new depth of meaning in the themes of Advent that we've been hearing. Hope, love, joy, peace. Our greeting for you has been written out and we will show it to you. But one of the things that is fun about our meeting place is that no 2 people see things in the same sequence or necessarily the same upside downness. So here we are with our greeting from the session.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Hi, my name is Jim Beaton. I'm the convener of the Board of Directors.
My name is Len Gale. I am on the Finance Committee.
And I'm Phil Gazer. I'm on the Finance Committee as well.
Not joining us today are other members of the board, Maurice, Bill, and Elizabeth.
And 2 members that regularly attend our meetings are Jeff Zakiev and Heather Anderson, our treasurer.
We're here to wish you all a Merry Christmas from the Board of Directors. Have a safe and happy holiday.
From all of us here at VAPC, to all of you, whether you're watching on Christmas Day or throughout the week. May you be richly blessed during this holy season, and may God sustain you with hope, peace, love, and joy throughout the coming year.